In this week's edition of Top Tips Tuesday, how to handle hippos. It's a very topical thing for me right now, given I recently shared the Dangerous Animals of Product Management infographic. So this episode focuses on the most well-known of these animals, these dangerous animals, the hippo, the highest paid person's opinion. Just an important caveat or two before we begin. I do not sanction any demeaning use of language, segregation, disinclusion or otherwise through talking about someone as a hippo. This is purely about acknowledging how the presence of a hippo can be counterproductive to psychological safety and achieving successful outcomes. Also, this is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Consider your own situation at hand and whether these options that I suggest are suitable for you. There may be factors, cultural, political or otherwise, which may influence a different approach being needed here. So firstly, what is a hippo? A HIPPO, as I mentioned, is an acronym for the highest paid person's opinion. Humans have a tendency towards authority bias. In the absence of clear data to aid decision making, we will often defer to the most experienced person, and in many cases this can be a hippo. This is deeply entrenched evolutionary behaviour and stems back to from when we were in tribes and would seek from elders who have lived and experienced the challenges we face. For further evidence on the research behind the authority bias, consider the Milgram scientific experiments from 1963. Often in meetings, hippos speak first. This can be dangerous, as it can then shape the entire direction of that meeting, particularly if the hippo speaks of solutions rather than outcomes sought or problems to be solved. In many cases, taking the view of someone more experienced can serve us well. However, in today's VUCA world, it can result in many valuable ideas or opinions being drowned out, particularly from those who are less extroverted or those that feel psychologically unsafe. Another challenge with hippos is that by virtue of their seniority, they are often the furthest removed from the gemba, where the value happens. They may be less exposed to the customer's actual needs, their employees' ways of working, and as such, they may not be best served to provide the right solution or answer. So how do we tame our hippos? Listen first. Speak with your teams and seek to understand if they feel psychologically safe to share their thoughts without judgment. If they don't have concerns about hippos, there's actually no need to handle your hippos any differently. If they do have concerns, however, ask them what experiments that they would like to try to enable them to feel safer and more willing to contribute their ideas. Pick a few of these actions in your next iteration and reflect on them in a retrospective. Try privately speaking with your hippos and help them understand how their presence can be counterproductive and dysfunctional. Do ensure that their opinions and views are still heard, and do feature in decision making, and don't forget to be inclusive. Seek to understand their needs as well as the needs of your teams. Try and use data to depersonalize decision making. Encourage a process of hypothesizing, experimentation, analysis of data and forming decisions from there. So be objective rather than subjective. Data and facts don't have emotions. Play devil's advocate. Challenge hippos constructively to consider alternatives by playing devil's advocate. You may actually unlock something that they hadn't considered. And lastly, always encourage healthy conflict. Create and continually reinforce a culture where people feel able to challenge where they disagree, without fear of any judgment, reprisal or negativity. Lead by example here and actively ask people to challenge your own thoughts and opinions. I hope you find these tips for taming your hippos useful. Don't stop believing, folks.